Hi everyone, it's Lisa Mears here, and today I'm going to be creating an easy birthday card using some stepped up stenciling techniques. I'm going to be using the Scrapbook.com Starburst Night Sky Layered Stencil. This is a 2-layer stencil, and you can see that one of the layers includes the starburst shapes, and the other layer includes all of the stars. I could see this stencil being used for birthdays, celebrations, New Year's, and even the 4th of July. Another new product from Scrapbook.com is their Celebration Sentiments. This die set consists of 4 dies that spell out the words celebrate, yay, party, and hooray, and those are all in a script font. And here's a look at what those would look like when die cut out. So starting out, I have my Sizzix stamp and stencil tool, and I go ahead and take the door off of the hinges. That leaves me here with the platform base as well as my sticky grid. I did take the cover off of my sticky grid just to expose that grid, and I'm going to place a piece of Nina Solar White cardstock on the sticky grid. And that cardstock will stay in place because it is on the sticky grid. And the inks that I will start with are the Pink Lemonade, Glass Slipper, Pink Flamingo, and Parisian Purple. These are all the lighter inks in the color families that I'm using. So I go ahead and take out the first layer of my stencil, and you can see all the starbursts that are on there. And I want to try to ink up my white cardstock so that there's a different color underneath each one of those starbursts. So I'm starting out with the Pink Lemonade ink, and I'm just going to ink up the top left corner of my cardstock. And every once in a while, I will just place that starburst stencil over top of that paper just to see if I have enough ink coverage in that section. Next, I'm going to take my Glass Slipper, which is my light blue ink, and I'm going to cover up another area of my cardstock. So this time it's going to be on the right side at a diagonal to that Pink Lemonade ink. Next, I'm going to use the Parisian Purple, and I'm going to ink up another section of my white cardstock. So my goal here is to have all 4 colors on this white background. So the last white section will be covered in the Pink Flamingo ink. Now that all my lighter colors are laid down, I go ahead and take the Starburst stencil, which is the first layering stencil of that set. I add it to my sticky grid, and I'm going to go ahead and take my darker inks, and I'm going to ink up the starbursts. So the section that has the Pink Flamingo ink in the bottom right hand corner, I'm just coming in over top of that with a darker pink ink. And the darker pink ink that I'm using is in the same color family of inks, and it's called Confetti Pink. Next, I'm using the Lagoon Blue ink, and that is going to go over top of the lighter blue, which was the Glass Slipper. So these 2 inks are part of the Sky color family of inks at Scrapbook.com. Next, I'll be using the Havana Red ink, which is the darkest ink in the pink color group, and I'm going to go over the stenciled starburst at the top left-hand corner. So that's going over the Pink Lemonade ink that's underneath that. And then the purple ink that I'm using, this is the Mardi Gras ink, and this is the 3rd darkest ink in the violet color family of inks. So this is a fun way of stepping up your ink blending on your stencils by adding a lighter ink all over the cardstock and then adding a darker color ink in the same color family using the stencil. Now you could have also done the reverse and added the stencil with a darker ink first and then removed the stencil and added a lighter color ink over the top. But I like to do it the way that I demonstrated by adding the darker ink with the stencil last so that the ink doesn't lose its intensity when you ink over it. So next I'm going to go ahead and line up the second layer. This is the stars layer of the stencil. And I'm going to use my Scrapbook.com Glitter Gold pops of color to go over all of these stars. So I'm just squeezing some of the pops of color on my palette knife and I'm adding them to the stencil. So I wanted my stars to really stand out and have a nice glittery effect, and this is one way of doing that. Once I've covered all of those stars, I'll go ahead and remove the stencil. And since the pops of color is still wet on my cardstock, I will let that dry flat. Once it's dry, I'll be able to finish working on my card. And you can see all of the beautiful glitter stars on that background. From the Celebration Sentiment dies, I die cut the words celebrate, hooray, and yay out of the Spellbinders Gold Mirror cardstock, and I added those to the front of the card. I also cut down a piece of the Gold Mirror cardstock to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I did die cut the center out with a rectangle die just so that I don't waste all of that Gold Mirror cardstock in the center because it's just going to be covered up by the card layer. So I go ahead and add that Gold Mirror cardstock to my white A2 size card base, and then I just take the same rectangle die that I cut the center of the gold cardstock out, and I cut a piece of white cardstock and I'm just adding that back to the center. And the reason I'm adding that white cardstock back to the center is so that this top layer will lay flat on the card. So I go ahead and put glue on the back of my stenciled background and then add it to the top of the card. And I love how that Gold Mirror cardstock all around the edges, it just adds for a nice accent with the gold pops of color as well as the gold words. So this card can be used for a birthday card, a congratulations card, or any type of celebration card. And I just love the way that it turned out. If you're interested in any of the products that I've used, please check the description box of this YouTube video for product links. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more card making tutorials. Thanks for watching everyone and have a great day. Bye-bye.